You have found yourself on another episode of Locked on Bulls. In today's episode, me and Pat are going to talk about the Chicago Bulls making history, being the first 10 seed to win a playing game. We're going to talk about that, plus Billy Donovan's adjustments in the second half, and can the Bulls do it again? We're going to talk about all that and more right after this.
You are Locked on Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked on Bulls, member of the Locked on Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Go to HelloFresh.com/NBA60 and use code NBA60 for 60% off plus free shipping. That's Pat, the designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze.
Close enough. Let's do it. Windy City Bulls. I love it.
It is what it is. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central. Pat, we did it, bro. Like, the Bulls got the dub, man. Zach LaVine looking like the $215 million man we paid him to be. Patrick Williams stepping it up big time with defensively, him and Pat Bev and Alex Caruso making key defensive plays and some shots via Alex Caruso in much-needed time to the Bulls. Pat, how you feeling about this game, brother?
Why they do this to us? Why can't they just play 4 quarters of basketball? I mean, listen, I love what the Bulls did. I really do. I think that when you look at how this team came out and adjusted in the second half, right? Especially after getting down, adjusted mid-second half, an in-game adjustment, Chicago. I thought that they literally were a completely different team. I thought that they attacked the bucket well. I thought that this was something that we could have expected to come based on what we saw from the team in the first half, right? Like, Zach LaVine in the second quarter was cooking, right? Like, I saw a lot of people, especially in the live call, just like, oh my God, Zach LaVine looks awful. He took 2 shots in the first quarter, didn't make either of them. And then after that, he scored 9 points, right? And from that point on, I was like, I think the Bulls really have a chance at this. I don't know if they'll win it, but I do think they have a chance. I thought the Chicago Bulls defense was on point. I thought the Chicago Bulls attacking the bucket was on point. I thought that the fact that they did enough to get Jakob Poeltl in foul trouble on the offensive side of the ball was really good. And I mean, like, listen, like, to me, this is the Bulls team that we've talked. I don't think anything changed. I just think that in the second half of a game, we were still close enough to get back into it. Like, I realistically don't think anything changed that we saw. We still we had poor shooting from the 3-point line. The rebounding, I believe we still got out-rebounded by the end of this game.
14 we got out-rebounded by.
But what I will say the difference is, and this is what I want people to understand, there is a difference between being out-rebounded on the offensive glass by 14 and being out-rebounded based on the fact that you're missing a ton of shots and the other team's getting opportunities off of that. I don't expect the Chicago Bulls to go out there and get 15 offensive boards. I thought the Bulls did a good job off of the boards, being able to defend on the other side and get a second opportunity, and also not allowing a ton of second chance points for the Toronto Raptors. But at the end of the day, I'd like some more size. Like, this still, like, I don't think any. Do you really think? I'm gonna ask you this: Did your opinion of what this Bulls team is change tonight, even though they competed like we know they can?
No, because we've seen that. I mean, as far as in the long run, no, we still got work to do this offseason. And I've been saying that for the long part. Like, nothing changes what needs to happen with this team in the offseason, but They did come out, and to your point, we still shot the ball terribly. You said that, like, all the things that have hurt the Bulls in a lot of games still hurt the Bulls in this game. One key thing is, though, that we got to say, the Toronto Raptors, if they did not miss 18 free throws.
How do you say it? Is it Dyer?
I believe it's Dyer DeRozan.
I can't hear the stream when we live call it. So I was going Dyer. Dyer DeRozan is the MVP. One DeRozan was the MVP in Toronto. It was not DeMar. It was Dyer. Dyer DeRozan was the MVP in Toronto today.
Listen, and so the first couple of times she did it, I'm like, I thought it was my kids upstairs or something the first time.
Were you yelling at the kids?
Bro, absolutely. I'm like, if y'all don't be quiet, I'm trying to watch the game. And literally, my son came down the steps looking at me like, bruh, we're laying down. What do you mean? And then I'm like, wait a second, that's on the TV. And then I realized they kept going to her. I'm like, that's crazy. That's wild, bro. But yeah, hey, listen, she helped, bro. Like, nobody can tell me any different. Yes, they missed a lot of free throws, but that was distracting, bro. That would have been distracting for me out on the court.
How do you prep for that? Like, how do you like realistically, right? She's gonna do this again versus Miami. Miami's probably gonna shoot better. But how do you prep for that? Like, is that like what do you do that like?
I wouldn't put it past Eric Spoelstra to take a recording of her screaming and pump it in through the stadium while there's practice.
Blast it. Random moments. Going up for a layup. It was how she was screaming too.
Yeah.
Like she was going full on random kid at the park that you just be looking at like, why that kid screaming like that? Like, shout out to her, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought the Chicago Bulls, did the Toronto Raptors help? Yes, they did. Their missed free throws put the Bulls in a great position to come back.
But I don't want to overlook the defense that was played in that second half either,
facts,
which we'll talk about in a second.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like, right, this was a game to me. I saw a couple of people trying to say that the Chicago Bulls, the Toronto Gators game to us. The Bulls took it.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine took this game. I'm going to be honest with you. How many games can we say that this season?
The Bulls
maybe the Memphis game?
The Memphis game for sure. The game against
Boston.
Early Boston, the second game against Toronto that we played in the season. A win against Milwaukee. I think we won that game outright against Milwaukee. There have been times. I don't like listen, the Bulls have wins against over 500 teams, and I get the mindset that some people want to say, well, who's to say that they were playing their hardest against the Bulls? But I mean, the Bulls have had some tough victories there, man.
No, I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the Bulls went into some of those games with the, hey, we've lost 2 times to the Bulls. We got to come back and play harder, right? But I think that, right, like what I mean is that, like, Zach LaVine woke up. Zach LaVine said, we're not losing this game.
We haven't seen that from Zach in a long time. Well,
you know what I mean?
Like, we did see it in a loss. Remember, there was a game where I think Zach had like 41 points, but nobody else made any shots. Yeah, and he was trying. I can't remember what the opponent.
But we lost that game, right? Yeah. Like, Zach LaVine literally said, we're not losing this game offensively and defensively. DeMar DeRozan couldn't get anything. I mean, DeMar was horrible in the first, 2.5 quarters? He got back in that third quarter. I thought he really made some impact plays offensively and defensively. I thought that I will say it took Kobe White out of rhythm. Kobe was cooking.
Oh, Kobe was as much as we got to talk about Zach in a second. I know Kobe didn't end up scoring a huge number of points, but Kobe was the best Bull in the first half. Yes. He was the best Bull of the first half.
By
he didn't
a lot.
score easily. Better than Zach. I know DeMar scored 3 more points than him, but Kobe White was the best Bull in the first half of the game.
By a lot. Yeah. And to me, right, like I thought that was the thing, right? You don't need a ton. You just need enough.
Yeah.
Kobe White was enough. Patrick Williams' defense was enough. Patrick Beverly's energy was enough at the end of the game. Because I ain't gonna lie, Pat Bev was like, I was like, wow. Van Vliet said, hey, listen, I don't care what the numbers say based on you. You're done.
Pat Bev was playing like cheeks for a long portion of this game.
It was really just like that span of defense between like the third and fourth quarter. Bro, I literally was like,
you know what? The first time Pat Bev got switched on Siakam in this game, I literally was like, what are you doing? And it literally never worked out. And so, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, and we kept doing that. I'll ask you this. Because we're gonna absolutely go deeper into this, right? But
that's what she said.
I mean, hold on. Do you like, right? Like in this game, Billy Donovan, and we talked about this, we cooked him, said that it was not that we got outsized, we got out techniqued. Right? Like remember Billy said that it was we're rebounding. Do you think that this game showed that it wasn't about the size, it was about the technique when it came to the Bulls winning this game? Was Billy Donovan right?
No, because we still got out rebounded. So he was talking about specifically about rebounds. So no, Billy Donovan wasn't right. But I will say this because we still got.
I tried to get you olive branch, Billy. I tried.
I get you, but no, you can't hold that olive branch together with the gum. It's not going to work.
With the gum.
Yes, but
That's a bar. That's a bar.
But the Bulls did execute well defensively in that second half. And we're going to talk about that next. Billy Donovan's adjustments in the second half, specifically on one Pascal Siakam. But before we do that, I got to talk to you guys about one of our sponsors, and this is eBay Motors. A championship team is all about each player being a perfect fit. Same with your vehicle. So for parts that fit, head to eBay Motors and look for the green check. Stay in the game with eBay Guaranteed Fit, ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items, exclusions apply. Just add your ride to my garage and look for the green check to know that the part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Of course, exclusions do apply. All right, Pat. So, got to talk about it. I know you try to give the man an olive branch. I crapped on it. It is what it is.
We can't crap on him this segment, though.
No, yeah. This Billy Donovan. And the thing that I was worried about, if you go to my pregame show over on Central, the thing that I was talking about is not necessarily how the Bulls deal with the first wave of defense, but how do they deal with the adjustment that Nick Nurse was going to make after the second half? Nick Nurse is one of the better at making defensive adjustments from quarter to quarter, half to half. But Billy Donovan in this game completely came in with a different game. He was trapping. He was running double teams on Pascal Siakam, trying to force the ball. We didn't get as many turnovers as we usually do in a situation like that, but the defense was suffocating. We forced them to shoot a bad percentage after they shot pretty well in that first half. How'd you feel about the defense in the second half, Pat?
I thought Billy Donovan made the perfect adjustments. Y'all have never heard me say that. And when I say perfect, I mean to the point where we're running a double at Pascal Siakam. He spins out of it. Somebody's playing the passing lane because he's trying to make that pass. You know he's got to make that pass. The Bulls are playing that lane perfectly, getting the steal. We've got Scotty Barnes down low. I still thought P. Will a little late. I'm not going to say fully. I guess if I perfectly might have been a strong word, as close to perfect as maybe for Billy Donovan can get, because I thought P. Will was absolutely destroying Scotty Barnes. It's the reason you have to play P. Will on Scotty Barnes. He's got his number. Like Scotty Barnes all of a sudden went from being able to score 16 points to not being able to find the basket. Right. And I just thought that defensively, Billy Donovan made some really, really good adjustments.
Yeah. I mean, Scotty Barnes' hairline went back another quarter inch today.
Hey, it's bad, bro. Hairline and gap. Like, you got to pick a struggle.
Listen, the gap thing, that's genetic. Well, I guess the hairline is too, but listen, you could go
No. Michael Strahan gap is gone. You can pull them joints together. You got too much money.
But seriously,
Michael Strahan could have drove a semi through that mug. He pulled that
years
together.
Old, bro. There's no reason for a hairline like that, bro.
Bro, listen.
At least Chris Middleton's hairline got the way it got by the time he was 30. He didn't start off with a hairline that bad. Scott Barnes
started for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's been bad for a minute, but not at 22.
Hey, listen, Scotty Barnes is a mix of Buddy Hield's teeth and Chris Middleton's hairline, which is the biggest problem that's going on up in Toronto right now. But what I will say is this, right? Like, defensively, I thought the Bulls did a good job keeping that hairline in check. I thought that for the most part, right, like Pascal Siakam just wasn't able to get the same looks. Now, he still cooked, right? Pascal Siakam dominated. He still cooked, but he wasn't able to get the same easy looks that he was able to get in that first half. I mean, like, it was nothing in the first half. Like, I was like, hey, yo, we're going straight up with Pat Bev on a turnaround fadeaway J that he keeps knocking down. Right in the second half, that was the last switch option. That was your last ditch effort to try and stop Pascal going to the bucket. So I thought that the Bulls did a lot of nice things defensively in that second half. And I mean, honestly, right, like if we're being 100%, in the second quarter even as well, I thought the first quarter was really the worst quarter of basketball the Bulls played.
That's fair. Yeah, I agree with that.
So I don't know, man. I love what this Bulls team was able to do outside of that first quarter. I mean, I'll ask you this, right? Like the way that they were able to attack down low and really stop everything in the paint, because the Bulls dominated the paint today. Is that a change from what we've seen from this Bulls team most of the season? Is that something that you were expecting to happen coming into this game, or was that something that you were like, I'm actually shocked by that?
I was shocked by the. I won't lie. I was shocked by the Bulls scoring 52 points in the paint. Now we're not a 3-point shooting team, so maybe I shouldn't have been as shocked by it. But I like the way that the Bulls were getting to the free throw line, specifically in that second half. I think we only got to the free throw line 7 times in the whole first half, but we ended up 22 free throws. The Toronto Raptors have 36. Shout out to them missing so many, because that free throw discrepancy is disgusting. But yeah, the points in the paint surprised me a little bit. But watching the game, in the midst of just watching the game, I'll tell you what, I didn't even realize we scored that many points in the paint, honestly. I'm not even going to lie to you.
I mean, I thought the Bulls did a great job defensively down there. I thought that they closed out well. I thought that they didn't allow easy. But I mean, like, that's where you would think Scotty Barnes is going to be able to operate. I believe Scotty Barnes 32% from the 3-point line this season, something like that, right? Like, all his numbers are down.
Mm-hmm.
And so you knew they were going to try and get him going inside, and the Bulls just didn't allow it. I thought really, really good. I mean, like, we've kind of pivoted off of it, but like, I do have to say this. Again, Billy Donovan, not the end-all be-all coach. I've told you I didn't want Billy Donovan here. I stand on all of that. For the same reasons I didn't want him here, he's doing that in Chicago. But what we've trashed him all season for not being able to adjust, I'll give him his flowers when he does. That was top-tier level adjustments that we saw in-game, moment to moment, from Billy Donovan today.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was. He made a great set of adjustments. I think he came in with a deep, and maybe it was by plan. You know, I don't trust Billy Donovan's coaching acumen overall as far as making defensive adjustments. But I will say this: like, they felt out the Toronto Raptors, and if it wasn't for that last-minute 3 by Fred VanVleet, the Bulls would have only gone down in the first half by 8 points. But they, like you said, they kept it close enough. They did allow Toronto Raptors to open the third quarter with another run, but it really did seem like, at least today, Billy Donovan played the X's and O's game really well, and I do, and I appreciate that. And this may have been the battle of the disappointing coaches, because Nick Nurse is definitely about to get fired.
Bro, so here's the thing, right? I didn't know Muggs was out on Nurse. I had no idea, right? Like, I did the pod with Locked On Raptors, and he's like, nah, bro. And here's the thing. They're out on Nurse for the same reason Bulls fans are out on Billy. They've said poor adjustments. They've said, and I saw it, right? Like, I saw it in this game. Like, they had no adjustment for Pascal Siakam double team with a man coming up playing the lane. Like, he had nothing for that. But I mean, like, I don't feel like I've watched a ton of Raptors games where, like, Nick Nurse has just been out-coached every night.
Me either.
I haven't watched 15
I've probably
plus
watched
Raptors game.
I was going to say, I probably watched 8 Raptors game all season.
I probably watched 15 in total, right? Okay. Like, I wouldn't say that I've watched 20 Raptors games. But every game I've watched, right, like, the player that I'll look at and say there's no adjustment for the player that's going at them, right? Like, it's been Embiid when he's playing the Raptors, or Giannis. It's like, what are you going to adjust? Like, what would you like Nick Nurse to do against that? But I mean, like, it's the same conversation, bro. I was not expecting that. It's literally hey, he don't adjust in game. He has no offensive game plan. He has no, and I'm just like, is that Nick Nurse or Billy Donovan? Wait, which coach are we talking about here, bro? Like,
no bag. Billy had a bag tonight in the second half, so it is.
And maybe he took Nick Nurse's bag. I don't know.
We still in bags in Toronto? Is that what we're doing?
Shout out to Billy if he's still in bags in Toronto. I'm not mad at it. The Bulls are still alive. Here's the tough part, right? Listen, are you where I'm at? Where it's just like, season sucked. Might as well root for him. Like, bro, like, that's where I'm at. Yeah. It's like, hey, there's a lot of people not gonna be here next year. Might as well root for them to keep winning.
Hey, I mean, this may be the last last set of stretch that we see this team as it's currently constructed together. And hopefully we're talking about fielding a much better team next season. And, we got some things going on that, AK, like I said, there's nothing, and that's not to say that I don't want to see this team go as far as they can. I want to see this team do whatever they can in this postseason play, but it does not change. Anything short than this team somehow magically getting to ECF, it does not change the work that Acme needs to do this offseason at all.
Serious question. You're big on moving on from DeMar. Can we keep his daughter in the trade?
Probably not. He already got an extra baby mama that nobody talks about.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on now. Wait a minute, Haize. No. Chill out. Don't bring that to the stream. That's not meant for the stream, bro.
Go ahead and do your ad read, brother. Let me shut up.
I asked the last question. That's on me. I feel like Taylor Rooks on the Pivot podcast, bro. She's like, I had one too many questions. That's on me. I had one too many questions. So when does the act end? When I start dropping? Anyway, hey, listen, grand slams, no hitters, double plays, they're all back. There's no better place to get in on the MLB action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. That's because right now, new customers can step up to the plate with a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Just go to FanDuel.com/locked-on, sign up, place your first bet, get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win. Listen, if you pick Aaron Judge to hit a home run to left, if you pick Lucas Giolito to go over on the strikeouts, I wouldn't do that. If you pick, if you're just building your best matchup of the day, you can do all that over at FanDuel. So don't miss your chance to get your no sweat first bet up to $1,000. When you join FanDuel today, just go to FanDuel.com/locked on to sign up. FanDuel, an official partner of MLB. I was going to say MLB baseball, but like that's MLB is Major League Baseball. It ended weird. That's on me.
All right, Pat the designer. The biggest question surrounding the Bulls right now, you have some Bulls fans that naturally are saying, hey, what's the point to do all this just to lose to Milwaukee in the first round? But before we get into that, we'll get to that, even talking about that potential series, we got another opponent in front of us that's coming. We're going in town to them. We're going to Miami on Friday. How do you feel? Do you think the Bulls can do it again in Miami on Friday?
Yes. I think, and Lulu on the stream. Shout out to Lulu, just pulling up on me.
Shout out to Lulu.
Hey, shout out to Lulu, man. Hey, listen, y'all don't know how much I needed this win today. So much. I needed this win so bad today just to lift my spirits. But I do think that the Bulls can go out in Miami and win. I think that there's a lot of players I look at, right? Like when I look at Clamps on the other side, and Miami really good at team defense, just like the Bulls are. But who's stopping Zach LaVine? And then who's stopping DeMar DeRozan? And then who's stopping Nikola Vucevic? Maybe you got Bam over Vooch.
I was about to say Bam is a bad man.
Bam's a bad man, but I feel like Vooch can hit that turnaround floater over Bam.
This is true. I mean,
you know what I mean? Like size wise, I feel like Vooch has the advantage in that game. But I don't think Miami still has enough defenders to completely stop the Chicago Bulls. Now, this depends on which Bulls team shows up, right? First half Bulls or second half Bulls. You didn't see that. First half Bulls or second half Bulls. But I thought that I think the Bulls really do have an advantage over Miami coming into this game. And the advantage is Miami finally doesn't have enough defenders to slow down what the Bulls want to do.
I mean, I feel where you come. The biggest concern that I have when it comes to Miami, because we're 3-0 against them. Me and you've seen the Bulls have success against the Miami Heat. We know that they can. I think the biggest concern that I have is Eric Spoelstra, just how good of an X's and O's coach that he is. And I don't know if Billy has two games of great adjustments in them back to back. But hey, we'll see. And, another little inside thing too.
Bad though.
I mean, listen, Spo looks like he's ready for the season to be over.
Spo looks really, really bad in that first game.
Yeah, so I mean, the Heat overall looked bad in that game. The thing that, and again, another thing that worries me, this was the Bulls' third win in a row. We have not been able to get a four wins in a row all season.
Oh, God. Well, Bulls fans, get ready for the end of the season. No, I still think the Bulls have a good shot at this. What does it mean in the end, right? Like you said, everybody's heading towards Miami. Do we think the Bulls are going to beat Miami? I don't think either of us realistically think the Bulls are going to beat Miami, but it's a one game, or I'm sorry, Milwaukee, I should say. I don't think either of us think the Bulls are going to beat Milwaukee, but you have one more game where you get that playoff feel. And you know what? Pat Bev has done a good job in those games. Energy wise, right? Like Pat Bev was getting cooked. I'm not going to lie. We do have to admit, Pat Bev. Listen, we both talked about Pat Bev versus Fred VanVleet. It did not work in the first 3.5 quarters of this game, but it worked when we needed it to. But man, he was getting cooked out here. But what I will say is, I think that going into this game, the Bulls' energy is that you heard it from Zach LaVine. As soon as the game ended, let's go to Miami. Let's get ready for let's go. We got to go to Miami. I thought that meant the world to how this team mindset is. Mm-hmm. I think they're thinking the right way. They're not sitting here saying, "Hey, we got it. We're in. We're moving on." Nah, you got one more game with mad intensity. I hate when I do this because it never works out. I'm gonna pick the Bulls to beat Miami, and I think that I'm going to pick the Bulls to beat Miami by 10. Because I really believe that Miami just doesn't have enough to slow down what this Bulls team wants to. Jimmy Butler can only guard one guy.
All right. I mean, hey, listen, from your mouth
Who's
to God's
Tyler Hero
ears,
slowing down?
But here's the thing, though.
Let's do it.
With the Bulls and their propensity to give up huge number of three-point shots to other teams, how concerned are you that Tyler Hero, Max Strus can get into a rhythm that just separates that a little bit too much? Because I agree with you. They can't do anything defensively, right? We're not worried about Tyler Hero or Max Strus defensively. But with the Bulls always seem to give up. I mean, not say always, but the Bulls throughout the season have given up just big three-point nights to role players. With those two players specifically and what they're able to do from the three-point line anyway, against good defending three-point line teams, how much are you worried about that being what separates the Bulls against the Miami Heat?
Am I worried about it? 100%. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm just so confident that the Bulls are going to win, like, because I watched them all season. But what I will say is that, right, like, when I look at this game on paper, the Chicago Bulls in the second half of this game even closed out on the three-point line much better. Chicago Bulls in the second half of this game ran guys off of the three-point line much better. Mm-hmm. Listen, Tyler Hero can take that deep three, but very much like Fred VanVleet had to start doing, if you're taking it from the free throw line, if you hit it, you hit it. If all of a sudden you become Steph Curry for a night, hats off to you. Like what am I going to do with that, right? Like if Tyler Hero starts hitting, but the part that scares most Bulls fans is the beginning.
Yeah.
The part that scares most Bulls fans is how is that team going to come out in the first quarter, second quarter, right? We know that this Bulls team can fight versus anybody. And I'm saying that because I believe that this Bulls team is actually better than this Miami Heat team. But also Bulls. Michael Jordan ain't walking through that door.
Bulls gonna bull, but let's hope. I do have confidence in this team, and I do think that this team, especially with the heart that they showed in this game, let's ride that momentum out. Let's take care of business against Miami, and then we'll see Milwaukee here starting next week. That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm not going to necessarily pick them to win by 10, but I as of right now, I think the Bulls are going to be able to pull out that game. They just need to come in. They need to execute. They need to set the tone defensively, and we're going to have the end. Again, this isn't a game where small ball may hurt us. I think that the Bulls can out-rebound the Miami Heat, get out in transition, do the things. So, yeah, we'll see. Two things before we go. Not Alex Cruz. Ayo Dosunmu will be playing 6 minutes. Do you think that continues for the rest of the playing series?
Please, God.
All right. Second thing.
Haize, I ask you this. Me and you both Ayo fans. Mm-hmm. In those 6 minutes, did he look good?
No, he looked terrible.
He looked awful.
Yeah.
He looked like he had no idea what was happening.
Ayo's confidence is in the toilet, bro. And I hope that he can regain that over the summer, especially if the Bulls do retain him. But we'll see on that. Second thing, that 3-point foul call on Alex Caruso, is that one of the most egregious calls you've seen, bro? That was a tough call, bro.
Why are we just giving it away? Shout out to Dyer DeRozan again, bro. Why are we just giving them a chance to win? Like, that was one of the most egregious calls I think I've seen this season. And I've seen some bad calls. Like, it was clearly a pump fake. Caruso fouls him. And then a second effort to pull up and try and get it.
Bro,
and it was just like, he got it.
The foul happened so far between when he did the shot attempt. It was real. Like, I could have made a sandwich in the time that it took for him to try to attempt a shot after he was fouled. That was a crazy call to me, bro.
I don't think, is Gucci ref the lead ref on these?
The fact you always
he's
call
Gucci ref. I have no idea what his name is. We probably should learn. I want to get him on the breeze. I really do, but I have no idea what his name is in real life.
Yeah, he was the lead ref tonight, bro.
He's the lead ref, so he has to change that call. That bad call. Gucci ref is usually pretty good. It's a bad call.
Do they do the L2M reports in playoffs? Because I wouldn't be surprised if we see that on the report.
Was that last two?
Yeah, it's last two. Yeah, I think it was last two.
Oh yeah, that was with like 40 seconds left, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a bad call. That was a really bad call. We'll probably see that. Even though none of these numbers count for anything. That's what cracked me up. Like, how are we not? So they just scoring buckets and making points, and none of this counts for nothing. LeBron's scoring record didn't go up in that first game.
No, it's not. This counts towards postseason play.
No, it don't. It don't even count towards playoff stats.
It doesn't?
No.
So it doesn't count for anything. It doesn't go on the record books at all. So is playing it now going to become its own record?
I hope not. That'd be terrible.
Are we going to start talking about the most points scored in playing? Is that what we're going to start? That's another LeBron stat they're going to give him. That
probably will happen. That probably will happen.
They're going to give LeBron. He's also the play-in scoring champion. They're absolutely going to give LeBron that before he retires. Come on, bro. Let's get up out of here, man. Because that's another ESPN LeBron stat, and I just got pissed off, bro. Let's just
LeBron James on the right side when he's holding the ball in his left hand, spin move is the most ever to score points going up. Follow us on everything. Locked On Bulls on Twitter. You follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Appreciate y'all for showing love. LeBron just broke another record somewhere. I don't know what he did.
You guys can follow me at CEO Haize, CEO Haize. And thank you for making Locked On Bulls your first listen today. Now for your second listen, go and check out Game to Game NBA. Every moment, every top performance, every result. Locked On Game to Game covers every game from across the NBA with local analysis that only Locked On can deliver. Follow Game to Game on Locked On NBA, available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This has been Locked On Bulls. We out, y'all. Peace.